Hi everybody, it is Kat here from Share Impact, and today I'm going live with Julia Gray. I'm super excited that Julia's joining us. This is part of I think we've got 8 weeks of expert lives in the run up to Christmas that I've organised with a whole variety of people working in the social enterprise space, as coaches, as consultants, with different expertise, sharing their advice, their expertise with you on the topics that they're most passionate about. And today we have Julia Graham, who is a copywriting expert and helps eco brands with their e-commerce sites so that they get conversions with customers. And I thought this would be particularly useful because I know many of you actually who are following this page or in the Impact Entrepreneurs Club actually have e-commerce sites or eco brands, and copywriting is probably one of those things that you maybe struggle with. Now I'm just going to check on my laptop whether we are going live and whether Julia can see me yet. So we'll put that on there. I know that we can, sometimes we have to wait a little bit longer than we would like to actually get the viewer, the guest on. So bear with me for a few moments while I just try and get Julia in on the live. Right, okay, so hopefully we'll be able to invite her soon, but I'd love to know if you're watching on the replay, drop a comment below. If you've got a question and you come on live and you have a question for Julia, then please do share that with me too. I'm just checking to see if I can see Julia at the moment. I can't, so I haven't got anybody watching just yet. So what's been going on for me this week? For those of you that are in the Impact Entrepreneurs Club, you may have seen my post last week exploring different ideas and opportunities to work with a whole range of different people. And actually I've been working with a mentor of my own to actually explore who I can expand my services to, because essentially what I've really discovered is that what I do really well and my expertise is in helping organisations measure and communicate their social and environmental impact so they can actually reach the people they want to or connect with the people that they want to. So whether that's customers, stakeholders, funders, investors, whoever that might be. And so actually my reach of who I'm going out to speak to and engage with and work with is actually expanding. Although this group and this page will very much focus on social entrepreneurs because that's who this community is for, more broadly at Share Impact I'm actually going to be reaching out to more corporates, looking at their CSR programs and supporting them with those, because that's certainly my background in terms of working with corporates on corporate partnerships, and also with other businesses as well that actually want to be doing different things. Right, I can now see Julia is watching. Hey Julia, thank you. 1 second, I can add you in. I think sometimes it just takes a little while because there's a delay. It takes a while for you to actually be able to see the video, but hopefully we'll have you join very soon now. Got you coming in. Bear with us, Julia is joining. So like I said, Julia is an expert copywriter and helps particularly eco-commerce brands or eco brands with e-commerce sites, I should say, actually develop their copy so that they can convert more customers on those sites. And I know this will be of particular interest to many of you. Julia, having a bit of trouble by the looks of it getting on. Let me just open up again, see if we can get you in. We might have to try again. Okay, you're requesting. I can just approve that. Let's see if that's adding you. Julie, if you can just request once again. There we go, I'll approve you. Hopefully the time. It says it's, well, yes, it's connecting.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's working.
Yes. Sometimes
you can hear me okay, yeah?
Absolutely. I've learned that sometimes we have to be a bit patient with Facebook.
I know, right? It's it has a mind of its own sometimes.
But it is brilliant, isn't it, that I'm here in North Wales, you're in Lisbon, Portugal, and we can have a
Yes,
conversation
I know, it's crazy, right?
and share it with the world as well. So thank you so much for giving your time to talk to me and the community today. It's fantastic to have you. I was just introducing you a little bit, but I'd love to get started by you telling us a little bit about your background and why you do what you do now.
Sure. Okay. So I'm not sure how much you've heard because I spent the first little bit trying to find you and trying to work out how to get on send requests, send requests. So yeah, just for the one person who could be me watching live on my laptop, and for yeah, the rest of you watching on the replay. I'm a conversion copywriter for eco brands, but I actually started out as a translator and just a bog standard copywriter for just kind of any online brands that sold any random assorted bits of plastic and stuff that we don't necessarily need, but the kind of things that brands always like to push, and oh, you need another one of these, you need another one of these. So I found that I was doing a lot of that sort of work for online shops and brands and things. And I mean, I like doing it because I like copywriting, and I find that fun. But I just felt like it was totally out of alignment with how I actually live my life, because I've been carrying around this glass jar and the metal straw way before it's been cool. I was the one doing it when everyone was like, "What is that?" Now everyone's like, "Oh, cool! I have one of those." And I'm like, "I've been doing it before you." But I was doing that, and apart from this, which is totally uneco-friendly, but it's freezing in Lisbon right now. I can't find any eco jumpers. All you eco brand people, make me some eco jumpers. They're very difficult to find. But like, I wear things like bamboo dresses. This is bamboo, and like these earrings are from someone on Etsy. I think they're made of wood. So like, that's the kind of stuff I buy, and that's how I try and live. I used to live in Germany. That's how I actually got into all of this. I used to live over there, and they're so into these shops where you can buy like everything in bulk. They're they're called packaging free shops, so you can buy everything from like your shampoo or your soap or pasta and things. Like you can take your little cotton bags or like these kind of glass jars, and you just fill up and you take what it is you need. So I thought, well, maybe I should open one of these shops. And so I went along to the trading day to find out all about it. Then I found out that it was going to set me back 100,000 euros. Then I later shelved that idea. I thought, okay, don't have 100,000 euros in the bank. So that is when I thought, well, why don't I, combine, the two? Because I've got, the copywriting skills. That's what I've, trained in. That's what I do. But I can help these brands who often sorely, I'm sorry to say, sorely need help. And I know, because I actually buy from them. I love online shopping. I have to say, as my bank balance well knows. But it's things that I saw actually when I was when I shop online. Like I get their emails, like from their newsletters, or like if I'm on their homepage or looking at their product pages, or if I buy things. I've actually started doing this just to test them. The abandoned cart emails. So like if you put things in your basket or your cart, whatever, and you don't actually buy them, it's seeing what they send you. And what shocks me and why I so want to help them is that they're leaving so many sales on the table. Like when they have these, customers who they're almost buying but not quite. And it's a really, really easy way to actually pick up more sales. And you can easily, it's not just about the cash, because I know for a lot of eco brands, like I'm sure you were saying, I saw stuff you were saying last week, that for a lot of them in this kind of space, it's not just about the cash, it's about actually wanting to make an impact. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not getting seen and you're not getting heard, and then you're not going to make the impact. You're not going to reach all these people, and you have to, even though it's about eco brands and eco products, you have to still look at what normal brands are doing, because other people, you are going up against them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to win people over who are shopping with these brands, you need to be doing as well as them or better than them. So I mean, your web page and your website, rather, your homepage, your emails, they have to be slick, but slick makes it sound really complicated. They're really easy steps you can do, and that would totally be a complete game changer.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Brilliant.
In a very long nutshell.
No, that's fantastic. I think it's always really helpful for people to hear both what you did beforehand as your background and what kind of drove you specifically to kind of become I suppose, whatever you call yourself, but a consultant, a freelancer. Because I think particularly with you have that experience of working with corporate successful brands, other businesses. You bring that knowledge to the eco brand space, maybe for new startups, but also for established eco brands. And I think that's really valuable in the sector, because I completely agree with you that sometimes you go on websites that you're really passionate about, you want to buy stuff from them, but actually either the copy really is quite awful, or that it's just their websites aren't easy to follow through and take a direction where you actually just want to buy. And I often get quite frustrated when I know what I want to buy, I'm going on there, but actually I've got to click 100 times to get to the product or find it. So let's start with the mistakes first. What things do you commonly see, particularly eco brands, doing wrong on their e-commerce sites?
Okay, so the main few things are, firstly, actually, when you land on your website, your online shop, it's knowing what you actually do, what you actually sell. Like I mean, you wouldn't think it. Like, you think, well, that's obvious, surely everyone knows, right? But you would be surprised. You can land on a site and be like, what do you actually sell? And it's not enough just to have nice lifestyle photos, or like if they sell earrings, for instance, like just having lovely photos, that's very good, that's very important. But you have to think in terms of someone searching and doing a written search. Like if they type in eco earrings or handmade eco-friendly earrings or whatever, you want that in your headlines and right at the top of your page. Because if you just have the nice photos, unless they're doing some kind of image search, that's not necessarily going to pop up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen that actually with this watch brand I helped, and they sell the nicest eco-friendly watches, but on the top of the page they don't actually say what it is they do. I mean, they've got the lovely photos, but you wouldn't find them unless you landed on their site.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've got to let people find you. It's like me was saying, I need to find an eco-friendly jumper that's not made of wool. Yeah. So that I would say is actually the main thing. And then it's the sort of thing you're saying about having a clear path, knowing where to go. Like often on eco brand sites, it can be a bit of a like so many pictures, so many headlines, so many bits of text everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, where do I look? Like where do I go? And it's so confusing. So yeah, when you're actually building your site, you want to have in mind what you actually want the customer to do. Like, what's the point of the page? Where do you want them to go? Like, do you want them to click to your I don't know, your new collection, or best-selling products, or what is it you actually want them to do? Like, what's the main point? So so with that being said, once you have that, once you have the clear path set in mind, you want to make sure that you have calls to action, or as we call them, CTAs, and that just means it could be a button. You want to have at least one on your homepage, but I would say you can have easily 3. Oh, excuse me. And with that, it could be like right at the top. It's important to have it in that bit of your site that's in the top section, so they don't even have to scroll down, so they can see it like as soon as they land on your website. Because here's the thing, you only have 8 seconds.
Yeah.
People check your site and you have 8 seconds, and if they're like, what does this person do, like how do I buy something, they're just gonna go back to Google and click on someone else's site. So you've got 8 seconds. So that's why it's important to have this at the top. And also, on a similar note, I see this an awful lot, putting your social media icons at the top of your page, like in big, like go to my Facebook or my Twitter or my Instagram or YouTube, and it's great to have all these things. I'm not saying don't have them, but don't make them so big and at the top of your website. You want to have them lower down and not so big, because if you send them away from your website, then they can just go off and look at other people's things, like, oh, that looks nice, and then they're looking at someone else's brand. So the whole point of your website copy is to keep them on your page. Like, each section is just how to keep them on your page. Maybe it's sending them to a different section on your website, maybe to the shop part, the actual shop bit, but each part of your copy is to get them to the next bit, basically.
Brilliant. I love that. So we've got thinking about kind of the keywords and headlines that you're using in your SEO, so that people can actually search on Google or whatever search engine they're using to find the products that they're looking for that you provide. Making sure that your pages aren't really cluttered, that they have clear call to actions, and that your copy actually speaks to them directly.
Yep.
Would you say, because I know you know, lots of eco brands will have lots of different products, they'll have lots of variety, different what do you call them, collections and things like that. Would you, I mean, most websites I visit, most e-commerce websites, you know, they're very clear on the kind of categories, so they'll have different categories to make it easy for that sort of search through, and presumably it's quite easy to do that with various different e-commerce platforms now. But what's the kind of, have you got any simple advice, or, you know, just ideas of how people can do that early stage when they're building their site?
As in, like, what, as in how to put things into groups, sort of thing? Well, so the main thing is, and actually this is probably even maybe more important than having what it is you do right at the top of your website. It is talking to your customers. So even if you're new and you're like, I don't have any customers yet, who am I supposed to talk to? Like, go and talk to people who would be interested in actually buying from you. It doesn't matter that they haven't bought yet, or if you do have customers, just go and talk to them. And you want to find out what their pain points are, what their issues are, like, why are they wanting to use your, even actually, you know, buy your product, why is it they actually need it, what kind of issue are you helping to solve. And you want to get down their exact words, like, not just, you know, a vague idea, but it's their exact words, and that is the kind of wording you'll use on your website. And so, yeah, when you're talking to them, you'll find out what kind of main products they'll be looking for, and actually ask them, like, what's the easiest way for you to find stuff? Would this be easier? I mean, you can even A/B test things, so you can, like, test things a certain way. But if in doubt, ask your customer, because it's them who needs to be able to find things easily. And and yeah, so if in doubt, always ask them. But one good thing to have actually, um, on your homepage, actually, now you ask it, sorry, now you mention it, is if you have a section on your page, it's quite easy to add it on things like Shopify. Is your most bought items, or like something you want to have a little section on your homepage where it's items that you'll often be updating. And here's why: because search engines like pages that are updated often, and if it's your homepage, that will rank higher because it's they're like, oh, well, this page is getting updated. Oh, that bit's new. So if you have that on your homepage, it's like, oh, each week, adding some most bought items, then that will make your homepage rank higher.
Brilliant. No, I love that. Thank you for those bits of advice. Cool. So then in terms of the copywriting, what are your, obviously, like you mentioned before, it's really important that you're speaking directly to your customer. And that's one thing I talk about all the time and helping my clients with, in terms of who are your customers? Are you going out to speak to them? Do you know what they want, what they're like? How do you speak to them directly, their needs, desires? But what else should people be considering in their copy? Because I imagine on an e-commerce site, you don't necessarily need to have a lot of copy, but the copy needs to be really effective in communicating what you want about your brand.
Well, I would say the main thing, well, let me think. Two main things is you want to have your brand voice and your story. They want to come through in everything, like every bit of copy you write, like be it your homepage, your your product descriptions, or even your FAQs. Like you always want some bit of you to come through, so that if I was to look at your FAQs, I'd be like, oh, it's that brand. And I would say that's so important actually now, as there are more and more eco brands, because now it's like there's not just one brand that makes these kind of metal straws, because like, why is it I would buy from one brand as opposed to this this other brand? Like, you have to give me a reason to buy from you. And here's the thing: people buy from people they like. And if you tell a lovely brand story about, like, maybe how you started, why you started doing it, or if you add some of your personality into it, then you're more likely to buy from that brand than just one that goes, here's a metal straw. Like, actually tell me why. So that actually links on into the second point, which is talk about not just the features, talk about the benefits of your product. So that actually comes in a lot when you're doing the product descriptions. So you wouldn't just say this is an excellent high quality straw. Like, what does that even mean? What's high quality? Like, tell me how it's high quality. Like, so okay, so that's the features bit. So like, don't just say it's high quality. Like, say like exactly what it's actually made of. So actually explain it, as opposed to using an empty word that can just be thrown around. Like, so that's the features bit. And then for the benefits bit, you actually want to like paint a picture, like tell a story, like how, like, talk about the straw actually fitting into their life, like as if they have it, like, right for your one main client that you've got in mind, right for that customer, and paint a picture of them, how them actually using the product, like what it's like in their life.
And I suppose they can then build from that and actually include that in like an email that they send out to their email list, about either how they're using it in their lifestyle, and kind of their story, or a customer story about how a customer's using it, because like you said, it doesn't have to just be them for the website. It's about how to share those stories and that kind of connection to the benefits and the lifestyle changes that it creates that you can build into all your communications.
Exactly. I mean, you can run, run and run with it. It can be on your Instagram, like in your email. So everyone's like, oh my God, I can't write all that kind of stuff. But you're like, well, you can use these things and you can use it, everywhere, like on your blogs, all over the place. So, yeah, you want to have that everywhere, because the most important thing is that when someone looks at whatever bit of copy, like an email, or like even just saying, here's your order, your order's on its way. Like, you don't want it just to sound like any kind of email, because we get so many of those.
Yeah.
Use these opportunities. Use opportunities in your FAQs to to let your brand shine through, because it's those kind of opportunities where you can actually upsell, and so where you can sell more things, or you can just get liked more. They can think, I actually really like this brand, so the next time they're looking for whatever it is, a eco-friendly handbag or dress or some kind of kitchen items, you're the brand that'll be on their mind, not just some any old brand that sells whatever. And often, just one last thing is that they even if your products are more expensive than, say, the competition, if you have a compelling brand story and they like you and they want to be part of that, they want to buy into this. I want to be part of this lovely lifestyle that you've built on your website or on your Instagram. Then most people will actually pay more to be part of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love that. And before, you were saying one of the mistakes that you find, even like experienced e-commerce, eco brands, is this thing with, if you visit the cart, you put some things in the cart, but they're not actually following up with you, particularly if you're a registered user. And I've also recently learned, about sort of like Facebook pixels on your website and certain things, so you can start building up your communities on Facebook for using Facebook ads and stuff. So you don't necessarily have to do that straight from the start. Sometimes it can take a while to get visitors to your website, but then that can be a community that you target to. So anybody that's ever, as long as you've got the pixel in your website, anybody that's actually visited your website, you can set up a Facebook ad that's targeted just to those visitors. So it's kind of in a similar way to people visiting and putting stuff in a cart. It's doing that follow-up, isn't it, which we know is so key, because especially if people are starting to put stuff in the cart, they're already demonstrating they actually want those products. So are there other things that people and brands are kind of not doing that are really, really simple actually to put in their their short, medium term strategy of things that they need to put in place so that they are doing that follow-up?
Well, yeah, I mean, going back to the cart thing, that I feel is so important, because they are actually warm customers, and it's a lot easier to sell to people who are kind of warmed up and actually know your stuff, than having to target and draw in new people. So you're actually making your life a lot harder if you're like, oh right, okay, come on, we need to drum up new customers. Like, use the people you already have, like, because they are there, and it's often said that your next sale will actually come from someone who's in your orbit, as it were, in your either there could be someone who's signed up to your emails, or someone who put something in the cart and didn't actually follow up. So I guess the two main things where you could easily get more customers and more sales is two things would be your sorting out your cart sequence. So like if you know someone puts something in the cart or in the bag and then they don't actually follow through. And then the second one would be having sorting out your email list.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of brands I see, they don't, you know, it's like they're not even trying. It's like they're not even trying, you know, even to build an email list, or they don't see how, you know, they don't get how important it is. And I always say that it's like, if you're, you know, making, say, you know, watches or, you know, clothes or whatever, and you're, you know, and you want to launch some, you know, new stuff for, say, right now, you know, winter. So you've got all these great products, and you're like, great, okay, they're, you know, they're up there, website, they're on there, they're on, you know, Shopify, done. But no, you know, nobody buys them because you don't have if you don't have an email list and you're not actively getting more emails, you have nobody, you know, you have nobody to sell to. You can have the best product ever, but if you don't have anyone to sell to, then you're not gonna be in business very long.
Yeah.
But it's actually so easy, because what I see a lot is a lot of brands, they hide their join our newsletter is hidden right down the bottom of the homepage, and you're like, no, please move it. You just like want to drag it and move it to the top. So where you actually want to have that is, if you possibly can, is in the section which is right at the top of your homepage, so you don't even have to scroll down. But it is helpful actually to have it twice on your homepage, so the section at the top, and then you can also have it right at the bottom. But very few people will just be like, yeah, sure, have my email.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'm feeling generous. Here's my email. You need to actually offer them some sort of incentive. So, I mean, now, of course, if you have customers in the EU, or if you are based there, then you obviously have to be more careful. You have to, you know, follow you know, GDPR, make sure it's all, you know, compliant. But you want to give them some sort of incentive. So maybe it could be a, you know, a discount code off of their off of their next order, you know, if they sign up. Or if you sell some sort of, you know, you know, I don't know, clothing or watches, or I don't know, jewelry, then, you know, it could be, you know, a quick guide to how to look after it. Because if you are buying a more expensive item, you want to make sure that it, you know, it lasts. And that's actually something where doing your research is so helpful, because for the watch brand, for the Eco watch brand I helped and I worked with, they a quick search showed that a lot of their customers in blogs, they were writing blog posts, and they were actually asking, how do I keep the strap clean? Like, you know, they wanted to know, you know, how to clean it and everything. And that actually came up time and time again. And all they had to do was a little, it could be a, you know, I don't know, a PDF, or even, you know, some kind of, you know, video just on, you know, how to clean it. Have that as a guide, and have that as your, you know, sign up, and you'll get this guide to keep it clean and everything. Then that would be a really easy way to actually build your list.
Yeah.
You know, because you are, you know, you are giving, you know, value. You're being helpful, and that's the same kind of thing you actually want to do. Anytime you send out an email. I'm probably jumping ahead, but one final way you can help to actually get more sales right now, and a really easy way, is when you email out. So once you've got your list and you're emailing them out, don't just email them a newsletter going, here, buy this new product. Like, here it is, like, if you only show up in their in the inbox each time you actually want to sell them something, that's gonna go delete. I
Yeah.
mean, I do it too. I'm like, oh, another t-shirt, delete. Like, you know, you're not offering me anything helpful, like, because the thing is, you're actually selling a selling a it's a it's a movement. It's not just any old kind of product. Like,
Yeah.
you can build so much around it. You can create such helpful, interesting content, not just buy my product. So when you do actually turn up in their inbox going, here's our new range, then people are more likely to actually want to have a look
Yeah.
at the new stuff, because it's not like, oh, it's another email telling me, oh, here's the new stuff.
And I think
Do you know?
that's really, I've noticed that in a number of different brands, whether they're fashion brands or lifestyle brands, like a lot of their emails are actually, they are sales in a sense, but actually they're hidden and not in a horrible way, just that they're actually about giving the value through sharing new collections or style ideas, or if they're a jewelry brand, like, you could be wearing this with this, and like, so it's actually giving value in terms of how you can stylize what you're going to buy, if it's fashion or lifestyle, like what your room's going to look like if you buy these cushions, or and I think that's where they're adding the value. They're not necessarily, yes, there's a link at the bottom that maybe says shop now if you want this product, but actually it's about building and sharing their brand story and the ways that you can use their products in building this dream lifestyle, for example, in one particular way.
Exactly.
So thank you for all that advice. It's been really, really helpful. I think that's going to be
You're
really helpful
welcome.
for everybody watching. Tell us a little bit. I'm just going to go and grab my charger so my phone doesn't die in the
No
meantime.
worries.
But tell us a little bit about, I was checking out your website last night, which is brilliant, because actually what I really love about your website is it's just really one page. I know you can link through to other things, but you've got everything on there on one page, which I just thought was brilliant in terms of simplicity. You really share your personality, your brand identity, and clearly communicate your offers. So I know you just have some really niche packages, I suppose, that you help brands with. So I'd love you to share that, because I'm sure there'll be people that want to get in contact with you and understand a bit more about what it is specifically that you do with brands. And I'll just go and run away and come back very quickly.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm all for simplicity, when it comes to websites and offers and things, because it's it's the same thing I was saying. Like, you can have your online shop and be like, oh my god, where do I go? Like, I just want to buy something. Like, don't make it so complicated. So yeah, I'm all for keeping things simple. So yeah, so I do help eco brands, and my main thing is that I help them get more sales and more customers by linking the conversion copywriting, which is knowing how to write to sell, like knowing where to put things on the page, or knowing like how to write headlines, or how to write buttons, or email sequences, which is my favorite. I just love email sequences. I find it ridiculously fun, and like being able to see who's opened them, and like writing in a really sort of persuasive way, but in a non-icky way. Like, I like to make help eco brands sell in a way that doesn't feel icky, and like they have to sell out and be like a big corporate. I like to take the things that I've learned from working with big e-commerce sites that get them sales, but to help eco brands sell their stuff and get to a larger audience by still being themselves. So I link the actual technical side of the copywriting with their brand story, because that's one thing that is actually missing so much. Because if you're not actually selling your story, then people don't actually want to buy from you. So that's what I do. So I help them write their websites, email funnels, and also their opt-ins. So that's the kind of the sort of PDFs that they'll have as a freebie, to help folks sign up. And the last thing I do is how I can help you if you're interested is I do audits of online shops. Oh, should I turn off my notifications? Online shops, so that we can see what's actually going wrong, what's going well, because let's face it, it's not all doom and gloom. What's going well, what you definitely want to keep, and just the little things you can do to easily get more sales.
Brilliant, love that. And so tell us how people can kind of get in contact with you, and we'll definitely put the links in the comments below as well.
Sure. Well, you can send me an email, julia@juliagraham.co.uk, or my website is just really simple, juliagraham.co.uk.
Yeah, brilliant. So we'll add those links in below as well. And thank you, Julia. It's been fantastic talking to you.
Lovely to talk to you. I need to turn off this electric blanket. I am roasting it. I started off really cold, had to wear my boyfriend's jumper, and now I'm actually roasting. I'm too warm. Okay. Well, lovely to talk to you, and thanks everyone for watching on the replay. Speak to you soon.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thanks, Julia. Bye bye.